Ringing in the new year with the Jampot Adda family is a celebration on its own, where we cherish the memories of yesterday for a better tomorrow. I, Sonia Kaur, founder of Yoga Palette and an anti-gravity fitness expert, will be your host for the evening. Joining us today is someone who has grounded his roots into the film industry, having delivered breathtaking performances. To name a few, Patal Lok, Sacred Games, Once Again, Samvidhan. The gentleman who we so profoundly talk about is our very own Neeraj Kabi. He's natural, he's real, he's intense, he's pure, he's loving. From living his childhood days in Jampot, enjoying his Loyola School days, to becoming the student of the year in Symbiosis, to falling in love with theatre. An actor who brings true essence to the art through his array of characters. A director who passionately nurtures his own theatre group. So with my full heart, welcoming Neeraj Kabi, bhaiya for me, but yes, welcoming Neeraj Kabi on the Jampot Adda platform.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome, sir, welcome. We are blessed to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that, may I just begin by saying, was such a beautiful introduction. So clear, so articulate, and so beautiful. Thank you.
Lovely to have you here. I mean, it's magical for sure. So let's go back to our days in Jamshedpur. Sakchi?
Yes.
Penna Road?
Penna Road.
Yes. So if I ask you to relive those memories, which are the couple of memories, there'll be lots, which brings a smile on your face?
Oh, many. I have been very blessed and fortunate to enjoy my childhood living in a joint family. And the immediate memories that come to me from 76/A Penna Road, Sakchi, Jamshedpur, are those long leaps of staircases that I would jump up and down throughout the day, right from the first floor to the roof and then back down to the ground floor. It was extremely enjoyable because we lived in a big house and my parents were very liberal with me. I had lovely Bengali neighbors with whom I used to play a lot. And play was the main essence of my life over there. And if you ask me to flashback into my home, then my home was full of play and lots of guests coming in, relatives actually, who would come and live with us. Immediately, if I can think of, then there would be in the festive season, during Durga Puja especially, we would have, my grandmother would make a lot of homemade festive sweets. So preparations would start very, very early. I think a month and a half ago, we would start making in Odia. Of course, I belong to the Odia community and my mother is a Parsi. But we would have these amazing til ka laddu, gud ka pitha, multiple kinds of laddus and pithas that were being made in the ground floor. And we had a very traditional kitchen, very, very traditional kitchen, where everything was made of mud. और कोयले से हम लोग मतलब वहाँ मेरी दादी जो थी उस वक्त वहाँ खाना पकाना वगैरह सब उसी पर वो करती थी उन चूल्हों पर और बगल में we had which we crush wheat with to make atta Even that we had, where she would hold a string like that, and she would, with her right leg, go on pounding, and we would
Yes.
have the atta coming out. And then we had the chakki for pasting rice and dal put together to make pitha, traditional food of the Odias. So I remember all that, the smell of these beautiful sweets being made, the hustle bustle just before the puja came, and we would celebrate Durga Puja in a very, very big way. So those memories are very, very strong, very, very strong. So there was continuously activity. I've always lived in activity in my home. My grandfather was a doctor. My dadi used
Right.
to look after the home completely. My father is a farmer. My mother is a school teacher. At that time, she was a school teacher. She doesn't teach anymore now. But it was amazing to see this hustle bustle going on. And we used to be alone. I had my brother and my sister. They were younger to me. And we would just run around the whole time. The whole house was full of this people coming in and going out, living with us, and food being prepared. So I have been blessed to enjoy my childhood.
That was just so simple and sweet, right? We had those beautiful days. I do remember coming home. So it was so beautiful. And farmhouse, you said, reminds me of Sini, where auntie uncle are
Yes, we.
still active. Yes,
Yes, they do live here. My parents live over there. It's about 43 kilometers away from Jamshedpur, in a
that's
place
right.
called Sini. It's a very small town, and we used to walk down from the railway tracks and cross many, many fields to reach a
That's
small
right.
village called Kanchanpur. That is where our little village is, and that's where
That's
my
right.
father, मेरे पापा किसान हैं, तो वहीं वो काम करते हैं, वहीं वो रहते हैं. And once a week he comes back to Jamshedpur. So there we used to go every weekend in my childhood. So we were very fortunate to visit village life, to enjoy river, to enjoy earth, to enjoy fruits and vegetables that we saw growing in front of us, and we would pluck
Wow.
it directly from the earth and eat it. Or दोपहर के वक्त we would just keep hanging on the जो इमली के पेड़ होते हैं, अमरूद के पेड़, बेर के पेड़, बस पेड़ों पर झूलते थे हम लोग, मैं और मेरा भाई. And then in the evenings we would sit on the buffalo, and the buffaloes would be taken from into the river. So I would sit with shorts with nothing on my top over there, gamcha tied on my head, and I would go with the buffalo like this, very, very slowly, right up to the river, and the buffalo would go down. They would give a bath to the buffalo. I also had my little swim over there in the small river stream, and then we would all come back home together by the time the sun set. I think those were such lovely days to experience both the lives of a town and of being in a village and being so close to the earth, and to see village people work, go to sleep, get up. Unka dincharya would start very, very early in the morning. These were such wonderful. The smell of cow dung all the time. Those fresh vegetables coming, cows coming in. We used to see cultivation happening in the fields. Our legs would get wet and muddy when we used to go soak ourselves into the mud when the saplings were being sown for the rice to grow and the harvest season to come. तो ये दिन थे बहुत ही अभी, as I'm saying all this, it's such a beautiful, reminiscing these days that one lived with. I think it lives with me even today. What I cannot let that out. I can't call it a past of mine. I'm living with it even now. Every bit of it. If I shut my eyes now, I can smell everything of my village. Everything.
Wow.
It's so close, and that's why I said I'm blessed that we could live so close to nature, to the earth, and be connected with it. To look at an open sky and see all the stars over there. So I think this is what kept me alive in my days in Bombay for such a long journey over here. A journey of all sorts. I think what kept me alive was my childhood. If I'm talking now and if I think back, it was my childhood. It was my days, the blessings of my grandparents and my parents. I think that's what kept me alive completely. I was there to take up anything in this city and to survive it for such a long time, just because I lived that kind of a life. Every time I would get depressed or get very low, these were the years and the days that would come back to me and just lift me up to say that I'm blessed and I should not crib about anything in my life.
Wow. Wow. I was coming at that because knowing your journey and how you've gone through school, college, theater, and then you moved slowly. I mean, it's not been easy. So it's like, I wanted to ask you, like, that how have you kept yourself so grounded? You're a pure soul. How have you kept yourself so grounded? And you said it all, that it comes from the roots from where you came from.
Yeah, I guess so, Sonia, because um, actually there are many things, but the most important thing I feel always is the ability to see what, the God that you believe in has given you, and to be grateful for that all the time. And to always remember and be aware of pain and suffering that is around you, and to feel blessed that at least you've not gone down that much and suffered that much as humanity does everywhere all over the world. So I understood it very early that one should not complain and one should not crib. Come what may, just come what may. I was told by people, and I went into certain very simple spiritual practices very, very early, right after my college. But they were very simple. I never really followed them as a religion or practiced them for a long, long time. But I was introduced to certain practices, and I felt they helped me to slightly shift my focus. And then I was more into the field, trying to make a living, of first of all, trying to survive, and then trying to make a living, and then thinking of a career or whatever I wanted to do as an actor, because that came very, very late. The initial years was only about survival and living one day at a time to see if my meals can come in a day, and what do I eat the next day, and how do I survive. And that was the main thing for a very, very long time. But what kept me going was only this fact that there are so many others that are going through so much. And I have my hands, I have my entire body intact. I can see, I can smell, I can eat, I can speak, I can walk. I'm blessed with my parents. I have everything. What else do I need? When I used to look at my pockets and dig my hand into them, and they would come out empty, I would cry. I would shed a tear. And then immediately I would keep them back. And even if there was hunger, I knew that this is nothing. This is just nothing as compared to what people have gone through. And I have no right. I think I got my smile from there.
Wow.
I think I got my smile from there.
Wow.
I've just that fact of being so happy that I'm living, I'm breathing, and that's it for me. That closed everything for me, and that was it. That was success actually for me. That I'm a successful being today because I'm living, I'm breathing, and I have everything inside me.
Wow. That does bring a tear in my eye, though. It's yes, there's so much to learn from you. Your journey kept moving on. You did movies, Hitchki, you did The Field, you did Once Again, which I don't know how many times I watched. And then it went on, Gandhi, Talvar, Vyomkesh Bakshi. You did so much. You won so many awards. It was a big pat on your back. With all of that on your shoulders, and Sacred Games, not to miss it at all, with all of that on your shoulders and a wow on your shoulder, if you come back to Jamshedpur, to our Jampot, how do you feel when you meet people there? The place is very simple. You've said it rightly, that, we are here because of from where we grew up from and the kind of environment we had. So.
Yeah. So when I come back to Jamshedpur, which I do every year actually, by the end of the year, I'm always there for a very short period, but I come. And when I meet my own people who I have grown up with, or who taught me, or who I just probably crossed or rubbed shoulders with, whatever way. One thing actually that happens firstly, and this is a huge gratitude to the town I come from, is the simplicity of Jamshedpur. And I'm so blessed and thankful that I come from a small town and not from a metropolis. That saved me actually. That saved a lot inside me. That kept me strong. That kept me, I think, simple. That kept me non-glamorous. That kept me always with those simple upbringings that you grow up with at home. You regard and respect those little things that you've been taught at home. And it kept me going with those little things. Small things, as they're very simple, but they are not what sometimes I see in a metropolis. It is lost in a lot of them because people sometimes in a metropolis have a very different viewpoint of life. And coming from small towns is a huge advantage. For me, I am very proud that I come from a place like Jamshedpur, not because it is a steel city, but because it is first of all a city where what has been built on that, the Tata company, is such a huge phenomenon today in the world. And it has been built with an honest vision. So Jamshedpur is founded, first of all, on a very integral, honest vision by a person who dreamt of something and took this land and created something so beautiful. You might call it the Tata Steel Plant, but it has done so much good to people. And this was not founded on dishonesty or profit making. That's the beauty about the Tatas. It has been made to serve people and humanity, and it looks after its own people so well. I've seen that. None of my family members were in the Tatas, but I have seen, of course, from my mother's side, a lot of people were there in the Tatas, but neither my father nor my grandfather. He served in the Tata main hospital, but otherwise nobody was there from the corporate sector. But I regard that township and the vision behind creating that so beautiful that I think everything therefore gets founded so wonderfully over there. The language that people speak over there, the little things that you go to the shopkeepers today who remember you. It's such a pleasure when you walk into the same shop where you would buy small sweets for 5 paise, 10 paise. And that man is very old now, and you go over there and he talks about your work. And he says he takes pride in meeting you. And that's such a beautiful feeling when you're walking. When I come to Sakshi, when I go to people, it's such an awesome feeling. It's also an awesome feeling for those people who don't know what I'm doing. And they're totally oblivious of what I've done. And it's a great feeling over there. Because there you meet people who know you since you left. So the only question they ask you, "Are itna bada ho gaya?" That's all. It's so beautiful when you meet them. You want to hug them because, and it's good that they don't know what you do. And they've not read about anything that you've done or seen anything that you've done. And that's a beautiful feeling, I feel. That only happens in small towns because things are not publicized in such a big way. And I'm very grateful for that. Because there you have these wonderful people who look at you, who even touch my cheek and say, "Arey, itna bada ho gaya beta, chal le kya khayega bol, us samay to ye khata tha, ye lega." And he does this to my cheek now when I go and meet him. Because for him, he's still that little 12-year-old Neeraj. And he doesn't even know my name. He only knows that I would come and buy sweets for 10 paise, 15 paise, 20 paise, whatever. And he gives me that. And that's a wonderful feeling. So those feelings are very wonderful. And I'm grateful also to my grandfather who, while he lived his life, served as a doctor, not just at the Tata main hospital. He did a lot for the people of Jamshedpur, especially the people and the class of people who probably could not afford to go to big hospitals and get medicated or get treated medically. He was there. And people sometimes draw this little comparison, which I totally get embarrassed with because there is no comparison with my grandfather at all. What he's done is 50 million times larger and bigger than what even I can dream of doing. But he has served humanity so much. And they say that, your Dadu was very, very popular. And now, you are also following those footsteps. But every time I want to correct them, and I do that to say that don't ever connect these two things, because he was a Masiha. That's how people remember him. And very recently, 3 years ago, I must tell you this, that when I was at home, 4 years ago, early morning by 7 o'clock, a man, a Muslim gentleman came into our back door and knocked on the door at 7 a.m. It was winters at that time. And I came down to receive him and ask him, what does he want? And he says, Dr. Babu hai kya? My grandfather. And I said, no, he expired, many years ago. He said, oh no. I said, but what happened? And he said that I've come, he named a village from where he came. It was from another state. And he came, he said, मैं सिर्फ उनका दर्शन करने आया था.
Oh my God.
सिर्फ एक बार उनको देखने आया था कि ये इंसान है कौन.
That's how he was.
Yeah, I think, these are the things when I speak of the tongue. These are the simplicity and the beautiful things about people over there. That you feel so rejuvenated, and the moment you go back to Jamshedpur, I think that's the place I get grounded totally, and I feed everything inside. My software gets energized, my battery is charged, and I come back here. Very truly, there's certain qualities in you which you cannot lose, especially in the film industry. It's very easy to get swayed, very, very easy, and to lose yourself into that glamour. And I think coming from a place like Jamshedpur keeps you grounded. Everything, even the food that we ate over there, all those amazing food. And
what was your favorite?
Oh, I used to eat so many singadas over there. Golgappa, here they call it pani puri, so we call it Golgappa, as you know, over there. And such clean water. In Jamshedpur, you can open any tap and you can drink that water. Here you have to filter everything, but over there, it is so lovely to just not be bothered about those golgappas and keep on eating them because you know the water is clean, and singara and aloo chop. यहाँ तो आलू चॉप खाते थे, जलेबी खाते थे, कितना खाना खाते थे उस वक्त, और सब इतने सस्ते, so so wonderful, और वो भी पत्ते में आपको दिया करते थे वो लोग. यहाँ तो खैर पेपर प्लेट्स वगैरह में देते हैं. There they make those plates out of leaves. So these are the beautiful things that. So the moment you see things over here like that, you immediately say, "Arey, ye to Jamshedpur mein. Arey, ye to Jamshedpur mein." Yeah, that's
right.
The Jubilee Park, the cinema theaters. I can never forget the cinema theaters that I would line up over there, and it was never sophisticated like the PVRs today. Those were like raw theaters where we would line up over there. We had the havaldars with the sticks over there. So if anybody broke the line, and we would, because everybody would be pushing each other just to get a ticket. And the moment we would leave the line, the havaldar would come with a dhanda and would really whack us. I have remembered so many whacks on my back thigh. I don't know how many, as a kid, as a schoolboy, I used to go and watch. Oh my goodness, I can never forget. And I would look at all these amazing posters of Mithun Chakravarti and Jitendra, and those were my heroes at that time. Amitabh Bachchan, and I used to feel, wow, yeah, what amazing actions they do, how they deliver those lines. I would dream at that time that, oh wow, what a world this is. If I can ever get angry like this with my eyes red and I yell and shout, and I would go and see those movies again and again and again. So those were our childhood things. We would run away from home and see them. My parents don't even know how many movies I must have seen. They're totally oblivious of it. Only if I tell them, they will say, oh, acha. Otherwise, they don't know. Because दोपहर को हम लोग भागते थे घर से. भाग के ये picture देखो, वो picture देखो.
Natraj, Basant.
Yes, Basant talkies, Natraj talkies, Kareem talkies. Yeah, Payal वगैरह तो अभी आए हैं. But at that time, we didn't have that. So yeah,
Exactly.
I think I'm bringing you back completely to that entire visual. I haven't spoken of these things for years.
So it was very strange. Like when you were talking about all this, Mithun Chakravarti, Amitabh Bachchan, you said all of this, and I think pretty much time ago, he comes to me and he's like, "Have you seen this DCP Parulkar acting? Mother, you have to watch." They call me mother. Mother, you have to watch it. So I said, sure. Brings him in. I said, oh, bhaiya. So he looked, so his jaws dropped. He's like, So like you look up, the youth is looking up to you. So it's a very big message that you've put across to everybody, bringing it very simply, coming from a little, lovely, little, lovable town, Jampot. Amidst there's so much of chaos, there's so much of things happening around and whichever. But wait, but you've just put it so beautifully. And this message needs to go to today's youth as well. And all that you spoke about, you know, the home and the, देखो जितने कहते हैं ना हम जहाँ से आए हमारी मिट्टी जो है. So even though there's a lot happening over years now, we are slowly going back to that. Everybody's talking about organic, freshly grow karo ye. So grandparents from jahan se aaye hain, we were lucky. We are getting back to that, but it's just amazing.
And that's what I think the youth should try and see if they can really look into where they come from and be with it for years together, wherever they go, whether they come to Mumbai, Delhi, whether they leave the country, go to New York or wherever. Where you come from, that is the space that you've been blessed to be born over there. And that space you can never forget, because everything you've learned over there, that's what will take you to where you are. The day you lose your roots, you will cease to survive as a good human being. You will become something maybe very big, but you will not be the same person. You will cease to survive. I believe in this very strongly, and I can say this a lot today because I've seen that entire journey, and I know that there is a truth in this. There is a huge truth about from where you come, and to have that sense of compassion towards it, gratitude towards it, and respect towards it. It takes you a long way. Every time you break down somewhere, every time you are maybe, you come to life, face to face with life, and you're broken, or you see everything as a dark hole in front of you, what actually keeps you breathing is not your breath, is the spirit with which you've lived your childhood. I think that comes, and that palpitates your heart, and that's what takes you ahead. It's never your breath or your heart, it's your spirit. And that spirit you will never get where you go to and progress ahead. You will only get it from where you are born. And that's what, from every human that has been part of your life, not just your parents, your friends, the friends that you had at that time when you were 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, 14 years, the shopkeepers that actually gave you what you wanted, even the fruit sellers from where you got your food or anything like that. Never ever forget those spaces, revisit them again and again and again. And that will keep your humility intact. That will keep you very alive. I really want the youth to know this. And because we do work a lot with the youth, we do workshops with them, and this is something we say all the time. And always take that pride. You can come from the smallest village of Rajasthan. Take pride in the fact that your father wears a huge turban and does not know how to speak English. He does not know the etiquettes of sitting on a dining table. He speaks Rajasthani. He goes out into the field. He sweats. He maybe smells of his sweat. And he eats normal roti dal in a crackling plate. Take pride in that fact, that this man works for what you have become today. That's your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, everybody. Whether you like them or not, that is regardless. It's not about you liking them or them being good to you. That is not a criteria of respect and gratitude. The fact that they are there in your life, that itself is enough gratitude. And I think this is very crucial, very, very crucial. You'll never be swayed by money. You'll never be swayed by fame. And ego will not enter if you are connected like this.
So we do have a screen between us, but all that you've said, I mean, I'm trembling. That it's like I've absorbed the energy. I wish everybody hears it out. And even if they absorb 10% of what you've said, they'll for sure understand what life is and how you need to live life. That's amazing. So, so grateful for this.
Thank you, sir.
And okay, so let's now school days. So now sometimes, you know, we would like, when you sit together with friends, we sit and we like try and act out, right? ये teacher ऐसी थी, ये ऐसा था, है ना? So do you remember anything, or do you sit back today and if you have to think कि चलो मैं अब ये बनाता हूँ and let me add this character, you know?
Yes, you know, even when we meet, I mean, nowadays it's unfortunate that not too many friends live or come at the same time to Jamshedpur. But even if I meet two of them, the immediate thing is, of course, Loyola High School. You speak about Loyola. So when we meet at the United Club, sometimes all of us gather over there and we talk about teachers, all our teachers, in fact, and all memories come back right from standard 2 to standard 10. We're talking about everybody. And this is one thing that I do, you know, when I go to, another thing that I wanted to actually add to what I was saying previously. There are certain spaces I would go to as a child. Whenever I come to Jamshedpur, there is 1 or 2 days that I take out and I go and I just visit those places, even if there's nobody over there. For example, if I used to play in the Ambagan Maidan in Sakchi,
yes,
I would actually go there in the evening during sunset and just stand next to the same tree which is still there and just look at that Maidan and just recall my childhood days. I do that a lot when I go to Jamshedpur. Even if there is nobody over there, the spaces I went to, I revisit those spaces again and just keep quiet over there. It's a very beautiful meditative state that you are in. You're not with anybody. You are not meeting anybody. You're just in that space and you tell yourself, yes, I was here when I used to be 8 years of age, 10 years of age, 12 years. This is when I learned cycling. Then you go to another space and you stand over there quietly. Like for Loyola School, I do stand outside the Maidan and I just look into the Maidan from outside. I just park the car over there. I stand over there and I just look. This is where I used to play cricket. All the matches I played over here. This is the place I missed a catch and I was scolded by my cricket teacher. This is the place I actually bowled at least 3 people out. I was a good bowler in those days and I bowled them out over here. This is where I used to run my 1500 meter. And I have actually gone and stood in that place, just reminiscing my sports day, my cricket days. Nothing, there's nobody over there. I just stand and recall. And it's a beautiful feeling. And you know, when you do this, you actually recall many more friends, which you've forgotten by now. Many, many teachers you've forgotten. Like I remembered my basketball teacher. There were so many basketball coaches we had. And the last coach we had, I had totally forgotten him. And then when I went back over there to see the race, I still remember he was running with me to motivate me and saying, come on, Neeraj, come on, Neeraj, come on, you can make it, you can make it. And that's how I came second or third in the 1500 meter race in the 9th standard.
Oh my God, you've gone back to the school days.
All this, yeah, and school days were fun. Even now when we meet, every teacher was an absolutely complete character. You know, you can play them completely and it would be such an interesting thing to play a biopic of any one of my teachers because I would love to visit their life again and to see everything, their childhood and their days in Loyola High School and what they are now, you know, it's beautiful. And every teacher had such traits that we recall each one of them and it's all humorous. All of them were humorous people. But they were serious teachers, they were strict teachers. But the way they would be strict was so humorous that we just keep on laughing and laughing and laughing. Unfortunately, you know, I've never been able to meet my teachers. I don't know where they are. I mean, I also come at a point where Loyola School is closed during the winters, during Christmas. So I can't even visit them. I wish I can go once, go inside the school and actually meet my teachers. I haven't done that for a very, very long time. I would love to, absolutely.
I think coming winters, maybe.
Yeah, and maybe slightly early, you know, because I normally go there during Christmas. So if I can visit that slightly early before the chuttis begin, that's the time I'll get to see all of them.
That's nice. Yeah. And like you said, like, you know, you brought in so many memories, no? It's so much fun reliving those memories. Like, I know Auntie's food is amazing. So, you definitely crave for.
Yes.
But is there some other place you would love to like, okay, I want to eat this, I'm missing this?
I'm sorry?
I said, would you love to walk into a place and you say, oh, I'm missing this. I want to eat this.
There are so
पानी पूरी
many.
तो खाते होगे. मद्रासी होटल होता था.
I think Madrasi, you're right. Absolutely right. That's one place that even I visit even now. Moment we land in Jamshedpur, the second day is always breakfast over there, Madrasi. So that's one place, yes. I would just love to. Till date, whenever I eat dosas over here in Bombay, till date,
right.
It's a fact that I always talk about Madrasi dosa. The moment I sit to eat, I say, "Arey, Madrasi ka khana chahiye, yaar. Wahan ka chutney khana chahiye, wahan ka sambar khana chahiye, wahan ka dosa khana chahiye." Which is not right actually, because there is food in front of me and I'm comparing food, but I'm compelled to do that because one can never forget that. That's the space. And what I miss dearly even today is in Jamshedpur, in my school, we used to have these बर्फ का जो आइसक्रीम वाले होते ना, बर्फ के गोले नहीं होते थे,
गोला
आइसक्रीम, they were ice creams, like proper rectangular shape ice cream with a stick, and there was to be this churan wala.
Oh my god!
That little cane tool, and he would keep that on that cane tool, and he would have varieties of churan kept in glass ke jars, and he would take them out and give it to us in newspaper cuttings. So he would give them, and we would take those ice creams and we would dip it in the churan like this, and we would keep on licking those ice creams. It was amazing. That is something I miss even now as I'm talking to you. I so miss that. Those churans were amazing. Those ice creams were just amazing. They were just barf. There was nothing in that ice cream. But it was awesome. Break times used to be rushing over there and lining up. And we used to, climb over each other to get the churan because the break time would end, So we had to get that. Birthday treats would be that. Birthday treats would be buying everybody ice creams or sab churan ke saath usko khate the. So they were like amazing. Those days of food in school, playing in school was so beautiful. And I was, Loyola School is a big school. You don't see big schools now. Huge maidans, such a huge school. To just be a part of that is amazing. And so much to run around and play. And sports was such an important element of my life in my school. How much we would play. After school, we would have cricket practice, basketball practice, volleyball practice. We used to play handball over there. There was so much for sports over there. Cycling up and down to school was so much fun. Then we had a +2, and that's the year the girls came in. I still remember that. Co-education, where girls came in. And for us, they were aliens because we had never seen girls, right in front of us, because we were a boys' school. And you can imagine 10th standard boys' school. We were like ruffians, animals. If we got angry, we would punch the hell out of each other. I mean, shirts and collars would tear and we would rip open. It was that kind of, because all boys' schools are like that. We are not concerned. There's nobody looking at us. It's just boys looking at us. Or teachers. Teachers would come and scold us or maybe, whatever. But suddenly to have girls coming in uniform on the first day, I still remember this. My first year, we went to the 11th, and that's the year it started. The co-education in Loyola started in that year. And girls came from the convent school, Sacred Heart Convent School. And we used to go for socials over there in the tent.
Socials, yes.
So girls and boys would come and they would be dancing, and very embarrassing moments because we would feel embarrassed, shy, blush, nobody would meet each other. And here we were, right in front of us in the assembly, we had girls all lined up. And that year the girls were very naughty. They wore those little yellow flowers over here, and they were standing right in front of us. Now, how can you avoid this? You tell me. In your prayer, we never closed our eyes that day. We were just looking at all these amazing beauties in front of us with those yellow flowers. We could not focus on the prayers. I remember my friends to my left and my right were saying the prayers wrong. They were mixing up the words. And many of us said Amen much ahead. We didn't even know what we were saying. because we were looking at aliens, because we had never seen girls like that so close. And we went and sat in the school, I mean, inside the classroom, and they were there. We were maintaining huge distances. Actually, that was social distancing, because the boys were here on the left, and there were two full rows empty, and the girls were there that side, as if, touching anybody would cause a spark somewhere. So it was so spaced out, and yeah, those was such an amazing start to our 11th standard. और पढ़ाई में किसको ध्यान था उस वक्त? Nobody was able to focus on studies, because suddenly we saw these aliens moving around in the school, and such beautiful girls over there. And for 10th standard people, that's the age, you're about 15, 14, 16, whatever. And yeah, you just are so amazed by this very sight. Then we learned how to behave. We learned how to have a bath every day. We learned how to comb our hair every day. We learned how to polish our shoes every day. We used to make fun of each other, our friends. Like we would say, "Arey wah, aaj to tu kangi karke aaya." Never combed his hair. Suddenly has combed his hair. Kisi ke jute polished hair. That guy would never polish his shoes ever in his lifetime. 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard, no polishing. Suddenly in the 11th, he polishes his shoes. Everybody tries to look good. We are all wearing nice, our uniform, and it was amazing. What a circus that was. I mean, I call it a complete circus till we got adjusted to them. So these years are so beautiful about Jamshedpur.
But like you said about the socials, for us in convent, we were like tuned, like Radhika. We were all tuned, ki bhai, brothers, brothers and sisters. The school brothers. So after you saying all of that, I really feel like laughing at what the principals would tell us. Oh God, they're brothers. You're looking down, you're looking right, looking left, looking down. Oh God. Yeah, beautiful memory.
Then we had a teacher who came and actually broke the ice. I think, I think it was Mr. Philip Chalil. He came down.
Okay.
He teach us geography at that time. And then he began teaching us English as well. And he came and he broke the ice completely. Absolutely. He was our scouts coordinator also. So he broke the ice. And then we were forced to sit, one boy, one girl, one boy, one girl, one boy, one girl. Yeah, it was the first time. And we were so scared. Like the boys would sit on the edge of the seat, literally. Being very scared कि कहीं हाथ नहीं लग जाए, कहीं कुछ, no girl should feel bad or embarrassed. And we would be absolutely on the edge.
Oh my God. Such beautiful memories we've relived. No? Right from growing up to your school, then of course, it was college for you. But Jampot is Jampot. I mean, there is the simplicity of that place, the love of that place, and it's amazing.
The beauty of that place, Sonia, it's so beautiful. You see the Jubilee Park, you see the constructions over there. It's so beautifully planned, that city. It's lovely.
Absolutely.
And even Sakchi may not be that planned where I come from, but the real hustle bustle, the crowd over there, the fresh vegetables over there, the noises of people selling things at discounted rates. They are wonderful. That entire ambience is so beautiful to visit all the time.
That's so true. It's been so lovely chatting up with you. It is. I mean, I just need to say, we've had such a fabulous conversation. More so to say, you're thinking, okay, I want to ask this to you. But you just said it all, and such a big learning, such a big takeaway from you. We've really had an amazing conversation. I mean, of course, it's definitely leaving me with a big smile, but it's a heart full of gratitude. I am so grateful to you, and it's a big thank you from Jampot Adda. And we know how busy you are. And
thank you so much, Sonia.
You really gave us so much time, and what all you took us through. Wow. Come to think of it, I mean, it's a learning for everybody. So a simple life, and see you where you are today. And the kind of energy that you're giving all of us. I mean, you have a very, very strong presence. You have a very, how do I say it? Like when you just feel that, you emit that positive energy. It's very strong. Please just keep spreading this light all over. The love and the light that you spread is absolutely, we need to be grateful, and please keep your magic on and keep spreading the magic around.
Thank you so much, Sonia.
Really blessed, really blessed. You are completely meditative. And yes, I have tears in my eyes, but I'm grateful, blessed. Thank you so much.
Really, thank you from deep, deep down from my heart. Thank you so much for saying what you said just now. Thank you.
So, till we meet again.
Yes. And I'm so glad, Sonia, that I'm getting to talk to you, and you are the person who's because I would always listen to this one name from my sister Radhika. Till we met and we knew each other, but it's such a lovely thing.
True. Because I remember, Pune also, to Dhan Mamu's house. Then
yes,
of course,
Dhan Mamu's house.
After the Shadi, school days were there. Then after marriage, of course, it was Urvashi auntie and Meher uncle. And so, and from where to where today, I was talking to Radhika and I was like, see where we come. And I said, there's something about him that is so powerful. He needs to keep spreading this power. You need to just keep spelling these magic spells that you have. And even if this much people can take in, blessed. Honest from the heart. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. See you soon again.
Yes.
Thank you, Veya. Thank you.
Sonia.
Moving on to our second segment is our very own Praveena, who's a Hindustani classical vocalist who will take us down through her memory lane with her mesmerizing voice. So let's all get set for that. Praveena, a warm welcome to you on Jampot Adda. And it's lovely. It's lovely to have you over on this platform, and especially, we come from the same school, and after so many years, you connect, and then, this is how it is. It's a real pleasure for all of us here at Jampot Adda. So if you could introduce yourself a bit, and then we can carry on.
Yeah. I would like to first of all share that, I share the same feeling. I feel so happy to be connected and to talk to you, Sonia, especially since the feeling that we have been at the same school, the same compound with just a year gap between each other. It's a very special feeling, as I look at you, I imagine, we have been for so many years there together in that place. It's very beautiful indeed. I am Praveena Manoj, and born and brought up in Jamshedpur. And it's just after marriage that I moved out, and it's a heaven for me to think of Jamshedpur, because it's so beautiful.
So isn't it lovely to reach out to all the people in Jamshedpur now with your lovely voice, and of course, you would be doing a series of songs for us, and lovely. So, I think the platform's all yours, and you can go ahead with your lovely voice, and we are awaiting to hear all about your journey through your songs.
Hello, Jampots. So I'm here as promised to present some olden golden hits just for you. My first song I would like to dedicate to Sonali Datta, who was instrumental for my very presence here and who was my classmate in Sacred Heart Convent in my primary years. I would also like to dedicate the song to my daughter Varsha, whose name indicates my love for the rainy season. R.D. Burman's composition, lyrics Anand Bakshi, Lata Mangeshkar's song featuring Amitabh Vinod and Rakhi, based on Rag Bihag with a touch of Mia Malhar. So here's for you, A.D. Pavan. Was born in TMH. Soon after, I moved to Dubai, where I was teaching for most part of my married years there in Dubai. My son Vignesh, when I look at his pictures, I notice now how expressive, how lovable and how mischievous he was, and I really miss him. He's in college now in Azim Premji, Bangalore. So I dedicate this song to him based on Rag Khamaj. It's from the movie Amar Prem by Lata Mangeshkar featuring Sharmila Tagore, and once more R.D. Burman and Anand Bakshi composition. So here's Bada Natkhat Hai for you.
Praveena, it's been lovely listening to your beautiful voice, the songs that you sung for all of us here, you know, at from Jampot. It's by the second song and the third song, it's a little bit of a story of your life that you are putting across to all of us, which already starts bringing in a lot of warmth. So the warmth is what Jamshedpur offers to all of us.
Right. Thank you.
So you've put it across really beautifully, and it's really hard. It's really so close to the heart. So that's lovely. And not wasting. Can you just tell me a little bit how your journey started about with singing? That would be lovely.
How my journey started about? I didn't get the last word.
Singing. So how your journey started when it comes to singing? How did your journey start with music?
All right, sure. So, singing has been a talent which was discovered by my mom when I was really small. So, when my mom took me for the interview at Sacred Heart Convent, sister asked me to sing a song, and it seems I sang a Hindi film song. I can't remember exactly something, a Hindi old film song. I just started singing that, and probably that could be one of the reasons why I got into Sacred Heart, because I was very confident at singing all along. And I studied music since Hindustani classical vocals since I was 6 years old, almost like very, very young. Started with Shubhadi coming home. Then I used to go to Aradhana Di's house. I have studied for years at Ravindra Bhavan, Tagore Society in Jamshedpur. And by the time I was in class 10, I had already finished my Prabhakar, which is equal to B Muse. So I'd finished my B Muse. And then in my +2 years, when I was at KMPM, I was pursuing the Praveen, which is the Master in Music in Hindustani Classical. And I owe it entirely to my mom. So, she's the one who would push me. I would be like, I'm not prepared for the exam today. And she would push me, just go and do it. And, I used to give all the exams that way. And I think giving the exams and doing the classical thing, properly, it gives you the confidence. So I thank her for that.
Oh, that's like a really lovely journey, right? And amazing. And all through your years in Dubai, like, did you get did you ever sing sitting with your friends? Did you do that?
Yes, actually, I did get number of opportunities through my college years also. Participating in any competition related to music and winning used to be the thrill, of my life. And as for my teaching years in Dubai, I was always involved in all the musicals. So I used to enjoy, composing and directing the entire music part of the concerts in our own English high school, GEMS, Dubai. So there they have the annual concerts were a huge thing. So it used to be great fun training all those students in huge choirs. I trained a lot of Western music during my years in Dubai. I did Trinity College London exams for keyboard, for piano, just because I wanted to, be able to give the best to the school in choir training. Although I'm primarily an English teacher, and I worked as coordinator for cultural events, my, thrill has always been in directing the music of all those concerts. So you actually miss it. I'm so happy to sing for Jampot Adda folks and all the Jampots. I'm really thrilled to do that.
Looking back at my childhood years in Jamshedpur, in the beginning in contractors area Bistipur, then in 19 Road, I remember most vividly the rainy days. One April evening before the Malayalam festival of Vishu, my brother Shyam and me were looking for yellow flowers along the road leading to Dear Madden School, and it started raining very heavily. Remembering that day and dedicating my next song to my parents, C.K. Suresh, who was an ex-disco employee, Dr. Gauri Suresh, who was a botany professor at Jamshedpur Women's College, my brother Shyam, who is a professor at Davidson College, and his wife Vedika and daughter Vasudha. Here's presenting Rimjhim Gire Savan for you from the movie Manzil, featuring Maushmi and Amitabh. Rag Kirwani with a touch of Pilu. Continuing with Rag Kirwani, I would like to pay tribute to my Hindustani classical teachers of Jamshedpur next, Aradhana Di, Pragya Di, Anurupa Di, Nupur Di and Shubha Di. Here's also to all my classmates and my teachers at Ravindra Bhavan Tagore Society, the Crew School, Sacred Heart Convent School, KMPM Inter College, Jamshedpur Women's College. And so here's presenting with all my love, Dilli from the movie Dilli Ka Thug, sung by Kishore Kumar and Asha Bhosle, music by Ravi, lyrics Majruh Sultanpuri, featuring Kishore Kumar and Nutan. ये रातें मौसम नदी का किनारा ये चंचल हवा ये रातें मौसम नदी का किनारा ये चंचल हवा कहा दो दिलों ने कि मिलकर कभी हम न होंगे जुदा ये रातें मौसम नदी का किनारा ये चंचल हवा ये क्या बात है आज की चांदनी में ये क्या बात है आज की चांदनी में कि हम खो गए प्यार की रागनी में ये बाहों में बाहें ये बहकी निगाहें लौटने लगा जिंदगी का मजा ये रातें ये मौसम नदी का किनारा ये चंचल हवा Last but not the least, I would like to dedicate my next song, to my husband Manoj Lakshman, who is presently bravely fighting Parkinson's disease. It's from my favorite movie Anand, sung by Lata Mangeshkar, music by Salil Chaudhary and lyrics by Gulzar, based on the Rag Malgunji of Kafi Thaat. So here's Na Jiya Lage Na for Jampot Adda. Na jiya lage na tere bina मेरा कहीं जिया लागे ना ना जिया लागे ना तेरे बिना मेरा कहीं जिया लागे ना ना जिया लागे ना जीना भूले थे कहाँ याद नहीं तुझको पाया है जहाँ सांस फिर आई नहीं जीना भूले थे कहाँ याद नहीं तुझको पाया है जहाँ सांस फिर आई वहीं जिंदगी जिंदगी तेरे सिवा है भाई ना जिया लागे ना तेरे बिना मेरा कहीं जिया लागे ना जिया लागे ना
Praveena, it's a big thank you from the entire team of Jampot Adda. And we all really feel, connecting after so many years on this platform. You shared your beautiful voice. So it's a very big thank you to you for giving all the time. And I'm sure for you also, nobody must have thought that after so many years, you'll be coming at a platform and, singing to all your people, and connecting and reaching everyone's heart out there. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. So, wishing you all the success in life, wishing you all the
Thank you so
happiness
much.
in life. So it's a big thank you from the team of Jampot Adda. Thank you so much, Praveena.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
Nice talking to you
you.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jam.
A big thank you to the team Jampot Adda to have conceptualized this idea of reaching out to the roots from where we all come and reconnect. It's brought out the child in us. Keep the child alive and keep creating magic. Grateful and thankful, Team Jampot Adda, once again.